This Tecrity session is for Spanish 101 web-based courses. Today we're talking about the verbs tener and venir. Tener and venir. This is coming from page 100, 101 in the Visa's 3rd edition. Tener and venir. The verb tener means to have, and the verb venir means to come. And they're taught together because they mimic each other or they look similar when you conjugate them. The yo form of tener is tengo. That's I have. The yo form of venir is vengo. That's I come. The to form is tienes. And the to form of venir is vienes. In the he, she, or you formal, the verb is tiene. Over here it's viene. So far all we've done is we've changed the T's to the V. And so that's why these are taught together, because again they look similar. For the nosotros form, this verb is tenemos. It ends in EMOS because it's an ER verb. This verb is an IR verb, so it's going to end in IMOS. Venimos. For the ellos, ellas, and ustedes, this one is tienen. This one here is vienen. So you have I have, I come, you have, you come, he, she, or you has, he, she, or you comes. Nosotros tenemos, we have. Nosotros venimos, we come. Ellos and ellas, they have. Ustedes tienen, y'all have, or you all. And then vienen, they come, or ustedes vienen will be you all come. Tengo, tienes, tiene, tenemos, tienen. Vengo, vienes, viene, venimos, vienen. Alright, let's talk about what's on page 101, the tener expressions. Alright, the tener expressions that are listed on page 101, they're also listed in the vocabulary list for lesson 3. What these are phrases that instead of going with the verbs ser or estar for to be, you always use them with the verb tener, to have. Now in English, they don't translate back into English as have. They translate back into English as to be. And if that's not confusing enough, let me give you an example. If you want to say, for example, I am hungry, your phrase in Spanish is going to be yo tengo hambre. To make it grammatically correct, you may not use ser or estar with this phrase hambre. You have to use the verb tener. Alright, another one. If you say she is right or correct, you would say ella tiene razón. That's another one of those in the list. If you say we are not lucky, you would say nosotros no tenemos suerte. if you say, are you afraid of bugs? Then you would say, ¿tienes miedo de insectos? Because the phrase tener miedo means to be afraid or to be scared. If you say they are thirsty, then you would say ellos tienen sed. Alright, if you want to say, I am cold, you would say yo tengo frío. If you want to say I am hot, you would say yo tengo calor. So any of these expressions here that are listed on this page, años, calor, cuidado, frío, hambre, miedo, prisa, razón, sed, sueño, suerte. Anytime you use any of those words in a sentence, you must use the verb tener instead of using ser o estar. Let me give you an example of to tell someone's age. In English, we say, I am 21 years old. In Spanish, you say, yo tengo 21 años. Literally, it says, I have 21 years. Or if you want to know how old someone is, you ask this question, ¿Cuántos años tienes? How old are you? ¿Cuántos años tienes? Literally, it says, how many years do you have? Alright, if you want to say, my mom is 50, you would say, mi mamá tiene 50 años. Since this word means has, you need this word años after the number to let people know what you're trying to say. What you're trying to say, your mom has 50 of. Now, if someone asks you how old you are, you could just simply answer 20 or 25 or 30 because the question's already been established. But if you're writing something like in a paragraph and you just said, yo tengo 20 and left it at that, people wouldn't really know what you're trying to say. Do you have 20 brothers and sisters? Do you have 20 cars? Do you have 20 books? Do you have 20 years? What are you trying to convey? So the word años is always good to put at the end or put after the number so people will know. Alright, another thing with the verb tener is the phrase tener plus que plus an infinitive. It literally translates as to have to do something else. And we use that phrase all the time in English. I have to study, she has to work, they have to sleep, etc. What this means is that anytime you want to say that someone has to do something else, then you have to have this component. You have to have the verb tener, a form of it. You have to have the word que, and then you have to have your second verb left in the infinitive. What that means is that this second verb at the end does not conjugate. You still leave the AR, ER, or IR on it. So, for example, if you say, I sorry, I have to work. Then you say yo tengo que trabajar. Trabajar means to work. Tengo says I have. The word que has to be there to divide these two verbs up. You only use que when you use tener plus another verb. You don't use it in any other circumstance. You're only going to use it when you have the verb tener first and another verb after it. You divide it with the word que. So if you say, my friend has to study, you would say, mi amigo tiene que estudiar. That's has, that's to study, and we've divided it with the two verbs with the word que. Again, you're not conjugating the second when you're leaving it alone because this verb right here is already conjugated. So you wouldn't want to say, for example, mi amigo tiene que estudiar with an A, because that would say my friend has, she studies, or he studies. You just want to leave it as to study. Or if you say this, I have to have a shot. That would be yo tengo que tener. That's I have. And the second to have, we left in the infinitive. Una inyección. Looks like the word injection. Una inyección. So anytime that you're using tener plus another verb, you have to divide it with the word que. And que does not translate back into English as anything. It's just a buffer between the verb tener and another verb. And again, it's only with tener and another verb that you're going to put que in the middle.